Yo, you're on another season of Entrepreneur Talk, and I got my big bro in here, man, the legend. Hey, where y'all niggas ain't never there. One punch card. You feel me? What's up, big bro, man? I'm glad to have you on the
Pleasure to
season.
have me here, man.
Listen, man, speed them up on the jigs. I'm gonna jump right into it, man.
Okay.
Let them know a little bit about where you from to the community, your background a little bit, and how you got into boxing. Because he's a boxer, if y'all don't know.
Oh man, just grew up in the rough sides of South Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the projects, and had it not been for the vehicle of boxing, I'd probably be a typical kid on a Chinese store corner. So I'm grateful for that. That vehicle and that vehicle took me all over the world, all the way up into the '96 Olympic team, where some of the greatest fighters in the world launched off: Floyd Mayweather, Antonio Tarver, Fernando Vargas, you know, David Reed, Zaire Rahim, just really Zab Judah, you know, and then all these people just blossomed and went from there, man. So everybody always talking about, damn, you know, the relationships, you know, all these people, but these was people that I was running with as a child, and they just kind of grew legs and flourished, and the shit just took off. You know, you build a big network when you was young. Growing up, boxing was like a, you know, a universal sport. You know, it's like if you're a lion, you know, in the middle of the jungle, all the lions respect you. It don't matter, you know, you won't have the respect. So we were able to go to different places. It wasn't about a geographical form. We were able to go to North Philly, South Philly, Germantown, Mount Airy, and I had to love because I was boxing all these guys all over the world. You know, so that was it. And then when we took it from, you know, a local standpoint, we went global and national. We was going to Detroit, Atlanta, you know, LA, you know, Puerto Rico, and so you were meeting people there, and then that's when you had a dominant force all over the world.
That's crazy, man. So how was it like at that age, meeting these different coaches, like grooming you as a boxer, but also as a young man, like just being around the, because again, y'all was coming up, so nobody was starstruck. Y'all striving together in real time. So how was it to like literally meet these different coaches and bring that back to Philadelphia?
You know what? I remember the very first time going to these places, and I would get that little camera that so I'm taking pictures. And I remember coming back home and getting them developed. And I would go, had a hobby store on the corner of my block. So I would go to the corner of my block, and that's where we all stood at. And I'm showing them pictures, and this is when we was in Puerto Rico. This is when we was in, you know, Utah. These guys looking at pictures, man. I remember a dude that was on my corner handing the pictures back. Man, I'm cool. Like, and the pictures damn near like fell. And I was like, damn. And that was the very first time I really experienced survivor's remorse. You know, and it was deep to me because I didn't really understand it at the time that, you know, a lot of people, we were looking at that fire hydrant on the corner, and the sprinklers was coming out. You know, and that was our water park. Where sometime we would, you know, I was blessed to go to Dorney Park or Clementon Park. For a kid that only had 5 or 6 siblings, mom couldn't afford to go to no water park. So you better take your behind to that fire hydrant on the corner. And so that was the first time me seeing and experiencing culture. And a culture shock of experiencing different things, of going different places, and knowing that it was very limited to others. So even when you showed them a picture, they couldn't process.
They went over
couldn't fathom. They was like, man,
showing off. And the whole time you like, no, I'm just showing an experience, but they didn't even capture that.
Right. So you experienced your first sign of survivor's remorse and the first sign of indirect jealousy and hate.
Envy.
Yeah, right. You didn't understand it at the time. And this, I was about 14 at this time.
You showing this to your friends?
Right, I'm showing this to my friends. Right, yeah, and I'm believing, damn, why y'all feeling this way? And I couldn't understand it because each time I'm going to go put on for our community, our neighborhood, my neighborhood, and I'm wanting love from y'all. I want y'all to be digging me up, and then I'm walking away
on the other side of the fence. Like,
yeah,
oh no, he ain't one of us no more.
Right.
Like,
yeah, I'm
still
changing.
Coming back home every day. What
yeah, I'm changing.
It really do hurt. So so now you're going through that survivor's remorse, and it's like, how are you balancing it out mentally at 14, going into your next stage as far as fights and just being in the hood, and you really cause I know you feel it now. Once you peep it, I know you seeing it every time you see it.
You know what? The crazy thing about that was I would always get up at 5:30, 6 o'clock, you know, and I would run.
Okay.
So I would do my run before I go to school. And I had this route that I ran straight down a block called Tasker Street. Now that's notorious because Tiffy and all them, you know what I mean? You know, 23rd and Tasker. We run down that block all the way to 33rd in Tasker and take that all the way over the back way towards Children's Hospital on the opposite side of South and come all the way back. So I would do this all the right. So I would do this, but upon this journey, we had to go past 25th Street, and it was a bridge.
Okay.
And underneath the underpass of that bridge, I would see my homie's moms turning tricks.
Wow.
And I'm running over crack vibes.
Wow.
And so processing that, it was just like, yo, I gotta go forward.
Yeah, you gotta get out.
I gotta get out of here. So no matter what I was going through, I know I had to push.
You had to push. Because if you didn't, that might be your mom.
Right.
And I know at that, like you said, at that time, it's looking like it's transcending, it's jumping on everybody.
Right.
You're like, oh,
right.
I'm not going. You know what's crazy? Because you must have got that. I'm not going to be no victim. I'm gonna make sure nobody attached to me a victim. That's what you was carrying, and nobody could peep that.
Yeah. So that was the first journey of seeing that. I'm getting up every morning, determined, and running over the crack vials and seeing friends' moms standing underneath the bridge, turning tricks and stopping cars and everything. So all these things I'm processing at 14. And I'm like, damn, I really gotta make it out somehow, some way, right? And change all this aggression and what I'm going through into an avenue to push me. So I just really started competing and channeling all those things, right? And I remember, like, even my family, they wasn't really supportive of me in terms of boxing the very first time. They were really kind of objective to it. But I'm fighting in the streets. And the unique thing about me fighting in the streets, every time I would come back to school, I'm getting suspended. And every time I come off of suspension, I'm going right back in. But the unique thing about me fighting is that I could draw a crowd.
Right. Ooh.
So each time I would fight, girls are standing on cars, swinging book bags, and they saying, Simon is fighting, Simon is fighting. And one day, I'm standing out in front of my crib, and they got like 200 people standing out there. They watching the fight. They on cars, jumping up and down. My uncle heard the commotion, and he came out, and he saw who he broke the fight up and pulled me in the house. He said, damn, man, why you always fight, man? He said, man, if you fight so well, man, you might as well go to a boxing gym and get paid for it, man. Stop being so stupid and make this a sport. And I looked at boxing, man, and I never looked back, So that was a vehicle that took me really all over the world, man. That's how it kicked off.
And you 14.
Yeah, I mean, at the time, so I started competing at 14. I'm taking it back to 12. Damn. So when it kicked off, and I'm talking about me really in terms of really setting it off, not knowing that I had an untapped talent.
Right.
That was 12 years old. So I'm getting suspended,
14, 15,
because so my uncle my uncle tells me this because I'm, you know, like my family, like, listen,
like, bro, you gonna be
yeah,
suspended.
you
You
would
gonna
be
be in
like,
school.
right.
You about
They
to,
was done
boxing
with
about
me.
to
They was,
tear you.
yeah,
Like,
they like, listen, we're not taking you back to school. And that same smoker that I would see under the bridge, I'm giving them $5, $10 and say, yo, you my aunt, take me back to school. And my family was like, they was done with me. They like, look, you get suspended again, that's on you. So my last time getting suspended, right? You know, I'm telling the principal, she like, all right, she signing up, you know, pink slip. She licking the envelope and she handing it to me. I dropped the envelope like this, and I was like, "Listen, I just want to let you know this is my last day of school." I said because if I, you know, I go, my family like they ain't, you know, they not taking me back, and I'm like, man, so I just want to let you know I appreciate you. You know what I mean? And that's the first time I ever seen a black woman cry. This was the principal in the school. And she ripped up the pink slip. I said, man, you know, you might not see me or you may see me because you may see me on the news or something. Wow. And she was like, nah, I can't let this, you know what I mean, this young king go. And subsequently, that was the first time they ever had in-house suspension. That's when that I was the first time that they, you know what I mean, because you was a problem child and you like, look, we can't do it.
Kicked off now
in-house suspension.
And I know that's some years. That's but that's crazy. That's what I say. Everything has a beginning, and it may not end the way people want, but that beginning be so crucial to what's going on around it 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And people are like, where this come from? You see what I'm saying? That's crazy because she didn't want to see you and she believed you. That's what I appreciate her for.
Yeah.
She believed you.
Yeah.
Some people would have thought by that time you got suspended and all that time you running game.
Right.
But you actually was
because they passionate about it. Like, I mean, I would come off a suspension and go right back.
Right.
And it's funny, I run into this one chick right now. She, you know what I mean, like all the girls posting and all that, you fly, but we was on the bench together. And I'm like, yo, because she you know, she's a mover.
Right.
So all the girls, they, you know, she in all the camps because she protect all them girls. Them girls can't fight. She was getting suspended all the time. We be on the bench together. So I'm like, yo,
Gonna keep you coming.
Yeah. She was like the lady at Ridge. You know what I mean? She was beating all them girls up. You know, so like if she would have turned into a boxer, she would have been going already. But it's just going through little snapshots of my life and how this shit really went. But yeah, man. But
so now moving into pro.
Go ahead.
Going into the pro now, you know what I mean, coming out of South Philly, turning pro. I know you said the community wasn't, family wasn't for you at that time. Now going pro, how did they reciprocate that? Going into your adulthood now, I know, man, you like 20 something, 22, 25, holding the fort there. Like you really holding it down at this time, I believe. So at that time frame, you really was them boxing fights was coming.
So the crazy thing about it was, and my block really legendary, right? And that probably like, I would say like 96, 95, I'm bringing like Corrupt through, you know what I mean? From the Dog Pound and Corrupt. I'm bringing Corrupt through, a little more from Illegal.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? That's my guy. Yeah. So me and Maul, we running around. And Maul actually took me in my car in the bottom of like summertime of 95. He just like, yo, come on. And we rode to Atlanta.
Wow.
And he drove. I fell asleep and I looked up and we in Atlanta, right? And the very first house we went to was Lisa Lopez. Lisa Lopez. So shout out to Lopez, right? And he took me to Monica. He took me to all these people, right? When we running around, just kids.
So you meeting these people on a good personal relationship, not too much as a boxer. You're meeting them
before all this kick off.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
so that's why when they talk about never there, and being
Everywhere.
everywhere.
It's everywhere.
You already had a relationship before all this kicked off.
Mm-hmm.
So me knowing Suge and me knowing Snoop Dogg, you got to remember, right? And he was
Yeah,
I gotta,
not to cut you off. I mean, that's something that was coming up. The Suge situation with Def, like, that's crazy. Like, you met him at the prime, like,
yeah, right,
seasoned Suge, like.
So it's a song on there, bump bump. You know what I mean?
That's Jamal, ain't that Jamal?
Yeah. Jamal from Illegal, right?
Yeah.
And Corrupt,
Yeah.
right? Which was the homies, and Snoop, Daz, and so I'm in the studio with all of them, right? So before Pop comes, I'm already over there, right? Wow. So they, cause bam, we ain't really know what was going on. Mm-hmm. And these was kids that was spitting it. That was before their time, right? So they wasn't. They was guns and all. They was spitting it, right? Spitting it. So little Malik is from Atlanta. Mm-hmm. So when Maul takes me to Atlanta, we would leak in a whole nother culture. So then when they had the East Coast beef, Leak goes to the West. Okay. Right? With Snoop and Maul comes to the East. Remember, he's on Big album. Yeah, he is. Damn. So now when you see Big, and it's a picture infamous with me and Big, and they like, damn, how are you around Big? But I'm do Big because Big know me through Maul, and I'm already so even before, so the first time Big come to Charlie Baltimore, I put Big on the Philly cheesesteak. So Charlie lived on 4th and Queen, and they had Ishta Bibbles on South Street. I walked C's to South Street. C's with another guy, he's right there, and we never knew. You know, he like, yo, he rap, and I'm talking to him, and we talking. Later, we find out this other guy was murdered, Mace. Wow. So before they kicked off, I'm the one taking them to all these places. They sleeping on the floor on 4th and Queen. Big, boom, Big coming down. So this is second home, right? Yes. So he coming to Philly, and he's kicking it in Philly. I'm right there. So that's when when you talk about real history everywhere. So before all this kicked off right there, opening up these doors, and it was just a coincidence. I just seen Charlie. We just actually did this podcast, workout podcast, and I'm telling her the story of like, yo, her and Jan went to school with my sister. Right? And they went to Catholic school. And so when Big was performing, he performed at the Red Zone in Philadelphia. Right. And it's on 30th Street. And I'm backstage with Big and them. And they're like, yo, where all the hoes at, money? Where all the women? She with them Philly chicks. She, all right, I'm gonna go, get some. To come out there, they know me from my sister. Hey, little party, hugging me, boom, Simon. What you doing? What you doing? You backstage? We want to go back there. Come on. Boom, take them back there. They meet, boom, they kick it. I leave. Next thing you know, they item. You know what I mean? So, right. So, hey, Big was cool. Big was crazy for that. Yeah, but all these things, I'm telling you, we're the connection, and I'm talking about the connection, and so even wrapping back around to Jay. So now Jay is coming to Philly. When Jay comes to Philly right after Big died, but Big is going back to New York, and he's talking about, yo, 50 miles down the road, they lit. 50 road down a road, you got to go to Philly. They lit. So Big is coming back up top talking about yo Philly, and he's getting ready to get some Philly dude. Right? Subsequently, before he passed, he get ready to get some Philly dude. Jay takes the blueprint and he comes to Philly. So when Jay come to Philly, to kick it like, oh shit, you know what I mean? Yeah. They is live, right? That's where, you know, you meet Roller Deep, you know what I mean? Mac, and the rest is history. But along this time, when he meet right before Big Pass, Big is telling him about me. I'm going up top. I'm going up to New York. So he like, yo, money, he gonna ready to be the next champ. I'm about 14 at this time. Man, like 14. And this is when my deep is hit. And then I remember telling them like, yo, I said, yo, man. He said, where you from? I said, man, I'm from the projects, man. And I start rapping that my deep joint song. No matter how much loot I get, I'm staying in the project. And Big was like, no. You don't want to be in the projects, dog. That's out. Like Big was always on something big. I'm you know, like the grimy, like Queensbridge, and I'm like, no, we from, you know, Tasker home, we from the Tasker projects. And he's like, nah, you don't want to be that money. You want to be big, so your family be taken care of. We ain't on that. So he was the one that really changed my mind state. From like, yo, man, we ain't on this local shit. We getting like, in real big. That shit. It's like, no, it's something bigger than people that ain't gonna be able to fix this unless we go out and get some shit piece of the project shit is dead. We ain't gonna be on no bummy shit. We gonna be on fly. And from that whole situation, the fly shit started coming, elevated my mind, started doing bigger things and all that. And that's where Jay came with the phrase, you know, I'm everywhere when you're never there. But he coins it to tell about the subject of the story. Pound for pound, I'm the best I ever come around here. He's talking about the moment of, yo, man, this young boy coming through. He's doing it. He's fly, you know what I mean? And he's everywhere. This nigga, he's in New York. He's from Philly. He's coming through all that. That's where it comes from. You ain't never there. Why would I ever? Because he was everywhere and you didn't care. Yeah. I'm in these streets, I'm moving in all these places, and I didn't understand. I don't have a stigma like, who them over there, what's going on? I'm coming through, yo, I'm one punch, what's going on? And motherfuckers are respecting it because I didn't have that fear of, damn, who that? Where they at? You know what I'm saying? And, yo, I ain't going over there, or I ain't trying to mingle with these dudes. I don't know them. I ain't from there. No, I already had this. Yo, what's up, money? What's going on? You did at the Roots picnic last year. I couldn't. They wouldn't let us over at one of the joints. Punch see me like, man, that's my boy. Man, open the gate. They like, and then Left was there and was like, they good. So anytime we came out and in and out, Punch ain't even had to be there no more. We left out. We like, yo, we coming back. They like, all right, we got you. Like, that's the love. And then we did the other Roots joint last year. We had me and Toon had the ball. Like I said, Punch, you good. Come on. We'll take care of him. Ain't about shit. Because at the end of the day, we know what we there for. We're there for the people, but at the same time, we there to show respect. Yeah. Just building bridges and bonds, man. That's what it's about, man. And like, yeah, you're right. That's a perfect analogy of when you tapping in and you opening the door for somebody. Just remember, damn, somebody opened the door for you. You know what I mean? And you can feel however you feel. Right. You can be like, oh, I'm wrong. I could have been wrong. I could have been there arguing. Punch could have walked past and said, yeah, I know wrong. I ain't got shit to do with that. Nah. Punch turned around and said, no, that's folks. They let him in. And when he was letting me in, that had Questlove back there. Right. Had what's my man name? Kweli back there. Yeah, all of them. Everybody was back there. So he was able to get the interviews and all that. Yeah. Over the line, this was celebrity line. Right. You dig what I'm saying? And people ain't gonna do that. Vice versa. When he needed to get near the stage, I said, Punch, you ain't. He like, he standing in the front. Not while I'm up front. Right. And I can see you. Right. Man. Told my man, yo, he got to come over here. Told him a little bit about you. Like, yo, he the one. He him. Right. He like, all right, look, let him in. Right.
Like we
Yeah, that's the
not
fact.
listening, and we do that anywhere. I'm
Right.
not
Yeah.
because at the end of the day, like I just told Neff outside before you even pulled up, I said me and punching like damn near 3, 4, 5 movies together, like all beat. We ain't doing like on set together, but we in these movies together. So when I look, I can say that's Big Bro. And then go back 2012,
Right.
2013, when niggas want to act like they ain't know who I was and how long I've been around.
Right.
Come on, man. It's there. The evidence is there, but we ain't gotta prove nothing, man. We everywhere, y'all ain't never there.
Never there. Never.
Never.
Yeah, and it's not one of those things where, you know, I'm sticking out my tongue and I'm like, nah. I'm really showing the next generation and the youth, like, if I can do it, so can you. You know, when the ship was shut down and I was showing people different glimpses around the world, and every time I'm taking a trip, I'm talking to the young boy like, yo, you can go in that shoebox and take a trip. I inspired so many young boys to go and take trips during that pandemic time when they thought they could never. So when they got that little lump sum, they were, yo, man, I'm coming. I was just at a fight last night, and the dude was like, yo, man, you going in that Canelo, you know what I mean, and Bud fight, man. I'm trying to go. He with his lady, man. Damn, man, punch. I know this would be my first time out Vegas, but I want to take her. Where's the spot? I pulled the phone right out there, showed him, yo, get this app, book your flight right now, book your hotel, he'll hit it. And they like, yo, he like, man, I appreciate that. That little thing changed the whole spectrum. Look, man, we going, I want to go, man. This is my first trip and everything. I remember walking through MGM Grand and I seen, you know, I knew the chick, but I didn't know her, you know what I mean? Dude, matter of fact, no, reverse it. I knew the dude. The dude was, I just was a worker at the phone store, right? I would see him going through the phone store. He worked at AT&T. I'm coming through, yo, what's going on? And he helped me with my phone one time. I'm walking through MGM Grand, and I seen, right? And they look like a fish out of it. He like, man, it's my lady birthday. She wanted to go to the, to the fight. It's my first time. I don't really know. I said, all right, I got you, right? So they like, man, the tickets are so crazy, right? It was Floyd fight. He said, tickets are so crazy, man. We're just gonna go and watch it on the green screen down the street. I said, nah, bro. I said, you don't want to do that. I said, man, y'all flew all the way over here, 8 hours to get over here, man. I said, listen, you don't want to do this, man. I know she having the ball. She looking like, talk to her. I said, man, bro, listen, hold on. Let me make this happen, man. How much you know what I mean, got, man? I'm really, you know what I mean, got. I said, well, you here right now, man. Don't blow this opportunity. You know what I mean? Spend that rent money, man. Don't work. You know what I mean, man? It's just two of us. So all right, man. Let me make a move. Let me pull a rabbit out of the hat. Go grab. You know what I mean? Talk to the people. You know what I mean? At the management team, Floyd. I said, man, what's the best? You know what I mean? At this time, tickets going for like $5,000. You know what I mean? The lowest, you know what I mean? $5,000 at this time. I get the motherfucking both of the tickets like $3,500, man. You know what I mean? Look, this me. You know what I mean? Punch, man. The girl, just to see that
you made that shit
happen. That moment, right? And they really there. Like the girl cried, the guy to this day, they still like thank me. Like the woman tell that story all the time. So you never know how much lives you impact. Right? You just being in these rooms. You just gotta do it. Yeah. That's what a lot of people that too, like a lot of my people be like, damn, when you do this, you do that. I'll be like, bro, if y'all could realize how spontaneous it is, y'all wouldn't even y'all be thinking that we getting paid to act, but we're not getting paid to act. That could be that spontaneous. Right. I might end up here, I don't know, but as long as I know I'm being great with myself and keeping myself the way I love who I am, I'm gonna always treat my brothers, my folks the way they act. I'm gonna treat people how I want to be treated.
You're never gonna know I'm going through something.
Right.
We here to make the people. I tell people, you order there to entertain or be entertained.
Right. Yeah, that's a fact, brother.
You know what I'm saying? So Punch, man, you know what I'm saying? It's Mother's Day, man. You know, I'm glad to have you here. I know you took an hour out your time. Man.
I know. Shout out to all the mothers out there, man. Love. I said, man, my man called me and I didn't even really understand. Well, we set this date up, you know, a month in advance. And he's like, yo, maybe about 2 months. And he was like, yo, I got this date. I said, all right, bet, let's do it. Now when the date fall on there and I'm like, yo, my family, and they all like, yo, what's going on? I was like, I got this, you know, I got this interview. I couldn't miss it, man. I'm here. I'm in town, man.
I'm gonna get you out a good time, though, man. But I feel like, you know, I just feel like this is something that I need on my platform. It's something that I know my community and the youth is gonna take heed to. Like I said, I got some entertainers and some pro boxers and stuff that follow me. That's gonna love this story, love your story, love to just rehear it, because some of them probably forgot and need to be revamped.
Right, right.
Up on it.
Sure.
And just good showmanship, man. You don't, you know, again, if you don't give the flowers to the people that made the dirt for you to even plant some seeds in it, to even see a great flower blossom in this town, you know what I'm saying? I gotta give it up to you, big bro. I love you for that, big bro. Because again, when I was growing up, we was always told we can't, you know, you could be what you want to be, but never told how to be.
Right. Yeah.
When can you be that? When do you start it? Yeah. How it start? And it all reality start with just loving on yourself and believing in yourself. You know what I mean? I really take heed to your story because it's like you said, one thing changed your mindset to say, you know what? I can go. It's a forward lane. I ain't got to do it 360. I ain't got to do it 180.
Yeah. I
ain't got to turn backwards, being moonwalking. I'm gonna go fly straight.
Right.
And that became everywhere.
Yeah.
And people like, well, damn, how I can't get there? You over here.
Right.
Even if he walked you and put you on the road with him, y'all taking shortcuts. I'm gonna be right now. I'm gonna catch up to you.
Yeah.
Before you know it, you're gone.
Yeah, that's a fact.
So like I always ask everybody that's on the show, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years from what you're doing right now? Because you did the Gilly fight. Mm-hmm. How was that? Just offhand, just to throw that in there a little bit.
Oh man, it was entertaining, man. Actually, the guy that I fought, I went to this fight last night, man. He fought last night. Shout out to Greg Hackett. We're looking to do part 2. Okay. I mean, it was real entertainment. A lot of people really enjoyed it. It was a lot of stuff that led up to it.
Right.
And we kept the people intrigued. And so that allowed me to know that it is an avenue for even, you know, like when you seeing a meatball and you seeing all these young content creators, look at Jake Paul. So they're more famous than these excellent world champions. It's excellent lane for a fighter really at this point, or somebody that's content creating to create a narrative of like, yo, putting down the guns and picking up the gloves. So this is really, I like, this is key. This is a check to a lot of people that look, man, you want to start something, you want to do something, man, come and just, you know, like, damn. And then I went on from that and did celebrity boxing.
Right.
You know, so they actually out one coming up on June 14th with the Nature Boy Ric Flair.
Hey,
so that's a big,
out to the legend, man.
Nature Boy Ric Flair. A lot of other great fighters on that card. Jerome Conquest, V Hustle. That's another hustler that really is doing it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And a lot of people, you know, is coming out to support it, man. Right. So man, tap in.
I most definitely will. Like I said, even if it's, I mean, no, Punch, I come out with you on film. You know, I get you, but you ain't got to do all pulling out the phone.
Yeah, please, I need it. I need it.
You know, just like keep me posted. And like I said,
you're doing an awesome job too, man. I'm loving the content. I love this whole space, man. Yeah. Thank you for having me.
No problem, big bro.
You know what I mean? Shout out to all the sponsors.
On a Sunday, like I said, you know, I try to do it on Sundays because I know some people go to church, some people don't, and some people are, as you know, Muslim and Islamic, they don't pray on a different time. Yeah. So I just try to do it in a space where if it is church time, between 11, 12, and 1 and 2, you can't be. You can get away from the traffic, get back home, and like I said, I'm in the heart of no Philadelphia. I feel like I'm in the middle.
Yeah,
like I'm in the heart, and you know, but
I mean, it's a beautiful spot, man. I thank you for having me again, man. And I wanna miss it for the world.
You know what I mean? Like,
Shout out to all the people that support me, man. Follow me on Instagram under One Punch Car. Follow me on Twitter under One Punch Car. All social platforms. One Punch Car is the same thing. Look for me. A couple movies. I'm working on my book right now. I'm working on my documentary. Where I see myself in the next 5 years. Hopefully, moving up and taking over the world, man. More dominating space, man, and just really controlling the narrative and pushing the brand. Is about pushing the culture, man. The same thing that you doing, man. So I commend any young entrepreneur, any entrepreneur that's pushing their own narrative and their own platform, man. Continue to keep pushing. Somebody gonna recognize you, man, and look, don't put it in nobody else's hands.
I'm not,
we got
bro.
it.
Yep, I'm not,
All
man,
right,
bro. I appreciate you, man. Y'all know what it is, man. We got One Punch Car, Mr. Everywhere. Y'all never there.
Never.
This is another episode of Entrepreneur Talking. You know you always welcome, big bro. Anytime, anything you want to promote, I'm here for you. Even if you got something you just want to do, you can use the platform. You know what I'm saying? Because it's all for the entrepreneurs. Shout out to the world. Y'all know what it is.
Salute.